Sonic X Comic Issue 15. The text blurb at the start is confusing because it says the character is presented to an alternate Station Square on an alternate Earth. So are we gonna see evil versions of Chris and Chuck? No, that'd be interesting. Instead we see them talking about Santa, which Chris believes in. I knew he wasn't real when I was like 4. I don't blame Sonic for not believing in Santa because on Earth there's no magic. The only magic is what comes from Mobius. So Chris believes in Santa, even though I think he's supposed to be 10, but is smart enough to know that the Santas in the mall aren't the real one. Sonic asks what Santa would get out of giving people presents every year. He must be pretty cynical, like me. He's reminding me of Fleetway Sonic with that paranoia. All of this is padding. Then we cut to Eggman on the egg carrier with absolutely no indication of how he broke out of prison. The comic's having its own stories and story arcs, but then it continues its continuity with a completely separate medium, and it expects you not to be confused and detached. But it's still better than no continuity at all, Sonic Underground. But still, Tails was guilty of negligence with the alien craft. Logically, he should have been guilty of manslaughter too with attacking gun, or at least injuries like assault, but no, just let him go. Why doesn't Eggman program his robot sidekicks to love him instead of wanting to run away when he talks about his plans? I expected these guys to be total idiots. But aside from when they screwed up getting money from an ATM, so far they've been smarter than Eggman. And that's sad. I wondered what idea Eggman was gonna have from studying Earth's holiday customs, and immediately wondered if he'd rip off AOSTH Robotnik's plan in the Christmas episode. I was certain he would. But instead, he plans to have the children of the planet give him Sonic ready to be frozen in a block of ice. That happened already too, in Archie. Well, like not that exact plan, but Sonic was frozen in a block of ice. Eggman plans to dress up like Santa to make the kids do what he wants. First off, that's the predictable route because he's fat and wears red. And reminds me of AOSTH right away, so we've been there, done that. And second, no kid would logically believe that Santa would hate Sonic and do what he says. Even kids wouldn't be fooled, and would think it's just Eggman, because he's kind of iconic. So I'm sure they will be fooled to force the plot and make the whole issue stupid and pointless. Sonic decides to explore all of the North Pole in case he finds Santa, and he decides to tell Chris the truth, but Chuck stops him and tells him that Santa's toy factory only shows up on the planet on the 25th of December. Sonic's got about as terrible social skills as Jimmy Neutron did. You know, in that Christmas episode where he told kids Santa wasn't real. It's interesting to see a Sonic with no social skills, giving him a flaw. Chuck doesn't explain in his thoughts that the reason he's not just being flat-out honest with Sonic is that he'd expect Sonic to just be honest with Chris anyways for the sake of goody-goodiness, even though in some cases lying is better, and Sonic, with its more black and white morality, might not realize that because he's a hero. Instead, he just seems to lie to him for no reason, or look like an idiot if he isn't lying. I hope they won't go with the predictable twist every Christmas episode does, where it turns out that Santa is real, because this is Earth we're talking about, not Mobius. At that point, why have it take place on Earth when it's all about having no magic? After Chris's parents brag about donating to charity, Eggman talks to everyone on the news dressed as Santa, and he tells kids that he'll take their toys and go home if they don't deliver Sonic to the courthouse. So because idiot plot, they all go after Sonic because they don't want to get their gifts stolen. So no matter where Sonic runs in the world, for 24 hours he can't evade them. Reminding me of when Sonic lost his reputation in one of the continuities, and he would have had to deal with this exact horrible situation. I felt bad for him. The French kid said, "What cheese?" Is that really a phrase in French? Or did they just throw two French words together? I've never seen that phrase before, and I've played a lot of video games in French, mainly RPGs. After he goes to hide on Angel Island, and thanks Knuckles for letting him hide there. So I guess that's where he would hide if he lost his reputation, and Knuckles liked him. Sonic eventually decides to turn himself in, assuming that the Santa really is Sonic, I mean Eggman. He pulls off the phony beard, or at least tries to, of what's clearly Eggman's robot who's dressed like Santa. And the crowd cheers for Sonic to surrender, and he gets into the Santa sleigh. Because a bolt falls off, Chuck believes Sonic was right, and Sonic is suspicious as he gets into the bag. Chuck shows up to Eggman in an airplane and tells him that the real Santa's over there. This better not be him and actually be a guy dressed up like him. Tails gives Sonic a ring as Scarlet happens to be right there to report on it, and Sonic goes into a super spin tornado to get out of the bag as Eggman's robots are revealed to be under the Santa costume. Chris says he never should have doubted Santa's existence even though he was never proven to be real, so where did that come from? When did he doubt it? He never did. Anyways, this story was by Joe Edkin and was about Eggman pretending to be Santa and telling kids over a news broadcast in an obvious disguise that if they don't deliver him Sonic, he'll steal all their presents for Christmas. It would have been nice if we saw proof that the kids know it's Eggman and think that if they don't do what he says, he'll go out of his way to steal from them, which would make just as much sense. Since he said do anything inventor, how are they supposed to know he can't go through with it? So it's not really that forced, it just feels like it because they don't admit that they know it's Eggman. After Sonic gives himself up because Chris doesn't want the kids to lose their presents. Well, I guess it would make sense that he would assume that Eggman would be able to, like, teleport the presents away. Chuck shows up to Eggman because he realized Sonic was right about his suspicion, and Tails gives him a ring to expose the very obvious robot for who he really was. Why would anyone think it wasn't a robot for a second? The story of the paper-thin disguise problem, and that's never good.